Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today, got Hatchet. What's up, Hatchet?
Oh, it's story time. It is story time with Hatchet. What's the story going to be about today?
Yeah, you never leave the house, right?
No. So, and that's one thing about it. And a lot of people, like after my brother and my nephew was murdered up in Waco, they got word that we were holding a funeral. And they pulled me over for a $50 ticket and made me do a bail bonds and all that. And, you know, on bailing out, you can't be associated around a gang. And that was the one thing that judge told me. He says, you're not allowed to be around your guys in the club. I was like, how'd you know I'm in it? I got arrested and brought in from work. So I wasn't even in club gear. And I was like, how'd you know I was in the club? And he was like, Mr. Rankin, we know everything about you. I was like, damn.
So they label you guys a gang. Every
Yep.
club, is it every club in Texas they label that?
Yep, they see us all as one. You know, they know the difference between the clubs and stuff, but like they Fed said, we see you as one club. And I was like, we're two different. And there's cases on it. But at the end of the day, that's how the federal government sees you.
Do you think it's possible for them to maybe back off all that gang stuff? Because it's a motorcycle club. I don't see how they get gang activity out of a motorcycle club.
Well,
I mean, maybe there's some bad apples. There's some bad apples here that do this. They get caught doing this, but that's them. It's not the whole club as a whole.
Well, a lot of it, you know, you get the social media and you get the news on it, and then all of a sudden it just starts rolling. And the police push that more than anything. Like in the state of Texas, they make gang coins that they sell with your back patches. I haven't seen it this year, but normally around July they start selling those coins.
Gang coins.
And we've been on a coin. Yeah.
Who do they sell them to?
Just the public.
So the coin has club back patches on it?
Yep.
And what is it? Like a collector item or something? Like, what is it for?
Pretty much. You know, the first time I ever saw it, I was like, man, this can't be real, right? And then I started seeing a bunch of other club coins. And I was like, this is ridiculous. But it's a money profit game. So if the police violated somebody else's civil rights, right, and they shot them down, the lawsuit would already been in hand. They would already gotten the money and stuff like this. I just learned that 4 guys is suing Waco for $1 billion. And I think I sent that video to you too, for $4 billion because they violated their rights. It's been 10 years. Now, back if it's just a plain police shooting and it was a misunderstanding, they would pay it like that, right? But since it's colors, they will hold off for 10 years, obviously. And for 10 years, you know, they want to build a case about this and case about this, and they just add and add and add. So they'll just make up a bunch of bullshit just to get you.
And they arrested every person that was there. People that had nothing to do with it. They even arrested people that weren't even there.
Yeah.
$1 million bonds, right? $1 million
bond. Well, a lot of people think it was just Waco area. No, there's people getting arrested in Tyler. There's people getting arrested in Odessa, you know, all over the state of Texas. Anybody with those colors on were getting arrested.
Wow.
So that's how big it was across the state of Texas. It wasn't just Waco. It was all over. And then that's when real profiling came out. It didn't matter if you had colors on or not. They would pull you over, take pictures, and register you automatically in the gang list. There's so much that went into it. so many people's rights were violated, and it's not just one side or another side. Now we ride for the seven, R7, you know, the reason why the split happened. And I know every one of their families personally. You know, I've had guys call me that are family members of them and be like, well, did you know he had a horse and this horse is over here and it's getting mistreated? Or down the road, I've had a couple of them. Oh, my dad was real Cossack. Who was your dad? And they'd tell me either trainer, you know, bear, dog, chain, the brothers. So, and I'm like, yeah, they were the real Cossacks. They died for that club. And me personally, you know, over the years, the beef and stuff like that, the only time I really got mad and like turned their stuff upside down was over Doc. And that was the whole Jester incident. But to me, if I'm going to remember them, that's just a smack in their face because they died for those colors. They died for those colors. Man. And, you know, a lot of my guys would be like, oh, you're a dick. Why are you saying that? Some guys are going to be pissed. Some retires. But that's the truth. That's the truth. And that's what caused the leadership split. And that's what caused RMC. It was right there. Those 7 men.
So without that whole situation happening, your club would not exist.
Nope. It would not exist one bit. And, you know, the only reason why that really started out into existing is because a lot of bros, they're putting in that 1% work. So they felt that they need to put on the diamond too. And some of the leadership didn't agree with it, and that's what caused the split.
Is your club's anniversary 10 years from Waco? Is that like when it's officially began?
So 10 years was the beginning of as soon as it happened, you know, leadership was saying one thing and not doing one thing. And then, you know, with the bond, there's guys not riding. Some guys were like, okay, we're going to ride no matter what. A year after, so this club is actually 9 years old. So a year after, that's when our club was formed, was on that date. And it took a year to build what they were going to do, and then they dropped it. The 10 years is for the 10 years of Waco.
Now, if you get arrested for association, like the gang enhancement or whatever they hit you with, are you able to fight that charge? And what does that look like when you fight that type of charge?
So right now we actually have a guy going through that. He got picked up on a trash warrant. This is how silly this is. So they know that this date's coming up, so they're going to start messing with people. They do. And a lot of people know this, definitely if you're out here in Texas. But it was unpaid trash bill or something, so they come to the house and knocked on the house, and he answered the door, and he had a pistol on his hip, right? State of Texas, even a felon after 5 years can have a pistol on his hip on his property, as long as it's on his property. Well, they picked him up, and they only knew him by his road name. So right now he's actually fighting that in court, and it's out in Waco. It's out in Waco. A lot of this happens in Waco. I've had years where we rolled up to Waco and they pulled over the whole memorial pack.
What do they do? They arrest all you guys, or do they?
Nope. Just there, write down your license plates, take pictures, see who's there, who's not. All right. I talked about the drones before. They'd fly drones right over the top of our parties. They have SWAT standing on down the road, and it's just to show intimidation. And now I'm so used to it. I know that we're going to roll up, and there's going to be at least 4 cops sitting over there with video cameras watching. I just roll by and flip them off now. It's just like, okay, you know, we're here.
So what happens if you get arrested, right, for gang association or whatever? They arrest you and then they tell you you cannot associate with none of these people. So you cannot have any contact. It's kind of like a restraining order, right?
Yeah, that's like your bail. If you bail out, it automatically says that right there. No, you can't have any alcohol. You can't hang out with anybody that's a known felon. You can't hang out with any gang association, blah, blah, blah. And so even if your wife's a felon, technically, if you get bailed out and go home, they can pick you up on that. And that's just normal processing.
Crazy.
So when they hit you with the gang enhancement, say you bail out and you're caught in like a support shirt, if you're caught
even
in
if
color,
you wear a support shirt,
yep, because it's gang activity.